today. Maybe some joining late. Usually a full grid on a Monday. But there you go. Let's put in the track map. Later. There we go. And we will await some drivers coming out onto the track. Just looking at something pre-stream. Fiddling with racing league tools for my own league there. Here we go, some drivers making their way out onto the track.
Remember to have a drink with you, blog.
Got a drink sorted, there's one empty. And there's two others. Thank you very much. I might even get a cup of tea as well. Let's see who's on track first. Usually Simon. And again it's Simon. So Simon makes his way round on the outlap. He is on for a triple crown at the moment, which apparently nobody's done in DRS. He is going for the triple crown on Thursday night of the Pro title, the overall title and the Constructors title. He's also involved in a bit of a title battle here on Monday, where he, Swanton and Brad have been hogging the podiums just recently. Here he comes then on his first hot lap, and indeed the first hot lap of the afternoon. Hello to Bazza in the chat and Swanton as well. As usual, I'm a bit slower reading the chat when it doesn't pop up on my screen. And even worse than that when I'm playing Fortnite, as you may have seen. But do give us a shout on Kick Twitch and the DRL Twitch, and we will do our best to give you a shout out. Is it going to be Simon, Swanton and Brad once again? Or is someone going to come out of the pack and make a bid for glory? Simon is going to set a good banker lap to start us off though. There it is, 1:16.0 for him. And Max World immediately, 1:15.4. Sainsy 1:17.3. Here comes an Alpine, that's Colin 1:17.0. The other Williams of Easy Life 1:17.4. So as you can see, Simon's lap was not a bad one, but immediately beaten by Max World. In goes Sloth 1:17.2 for him. Spoonie 1:15.9 goes to P2. We are with Brad. Senna 1:16.8 goes to P4. Ninja's down there at the back at the moment with 1:18.0. Here comes Brad. What can he do? He's usually at the front. Here he comes. 1:15.8. He is indeed on the front row. That's P2 for Brad at the moment. Smug's done a 1:27. Maybe he's doubling up, as Swanton usually does. That's why I'm not having much have a look at Swanton at the moment. He often doubles up. Here comes Joker. That's a 1:16.7 from him, putting him into P5. Levi is also out there and showing some purple on the track map. Here comes Levi, and it's a 1:17.5 for him. That's P12. I saw someone was off there. I'm not sure who that was, but it looked like Swanton, possibly? Maybe not. Maybe I'm seeing things. That was a 1:23.2 for Swanton, which is way off the pace, but he does this a lot. So you'll now see a proper attempt from him. He does like a double out lap. Al Newt and Roddy the Kid, the last two on their out laps. Note to self, do not eat Snickers just before you come on stream, because you'll get stuck in your teeth. Smug 1:17.4, Mr. Pickle 1:17.4, Swanton 1:16.1 and P5. Bit of purple for Smug. He's throwing the laps in at the moment. Is he improving or is he pitting? He's going for the improve. Round he comes. Let's see. Can he jump from P12? Yes, he can. It's a 1:16.7 from him, and that is P7. Syme is back out there. Al and Roddy now starting their laps. On board with Syme. Do get your predictions in the chat for the race. We always ask 3 questions. Give us your winner. How many safety cars and how many finishers? Remarkably clean race last week where everyone managed to finish. And there were no safety cars. Syme's improved a little bit. This could take him onto the front row. But he needs to pull out a bit more to get to that max world lap, which is holding firm at the front. Here he comes, and he's into P2, 1:15.7. Onto the front row goes Syme. Roddy the Kid 1:17.9. Ninjas has improved up to P8 with a 1:16.7, just ahead of Joker. Al Newt there goes over the line, 1:19.1. He'll want to improve on that. Maybe taking a leaf out of his teammate Swanton's book on that one. And everyone has set a time as we are just past halfway through this qualifying session. Just staying with Al Newt, just to see if he is making another attempt or if he's indeed on his way back to the pits. He indeed is improving, and he's improving by quite a lot. Sainsy has jumped Joker by 1,000th of a second. Bit unlucky for the Mercedes driver. He's got 3 drivers ahead of him within ridiculously small amounts. Al Newt comes across with a 1:16.6, and that's more like it. That's P10 of the AlphaTauri, the championship chasing AlphaTauri. Let's go and see Brad as he comes across the line. Just didn't beat his time. Spoony, he's a bit up. Is he going to retake P2? He comes to the line and does retake P2, 1:15.6 for Spoony. So Max Weld and Spoony currently the front row. Title chasers Sim, Brad and Swanton 3, 4 and 6 at the moment. Senna has climbed to P5. Ridiculously close together between Smug in P11 and Joker in 14. Less than half a tenth between those. Let's see. Swanton is slightly improving. Needs to get it within that. Hello Jonathan, thanks for the tabs. Good evening Sainsy and King Kong in the chat as well. This is Swanton and he is improving. Joker now improves out of that cluster of drivers on a 1:16.7. He's on a 1:16.5 and goes to P9. Here comes Swanton to the line. A 1:15.7 puts him into P3. And crucially ahead of his 2 title rivals. Joker down on his time this time. Smug is well ahead. No, he isn't. That must have been the previous lap. Here comes Ninjas. And Ninjas climbs to P9 with a 1:16.3. He's in great form lately. Is the Pro-Am driver Ninjas. He's won a driver of the day just recently. And qualifying in the top 10 at the moment. Easy Life goes wide and invalidates. Most drivers are in the pit box waiting for their last goes now, I think. Swanton on his way back in. If he's quick, he'll get in and out for another go. It being about 1:20 for a lap. Coming out of the pits, that is. Ninjas is well down, cruising round. Smug is doing the same, and Easy Life is having another go now. As always, when the checker flag goes, Baker is in the chat. Hello to Baker. Sainsy tells King Kong to get back to work. And you're joining us here for a double header of F1 action on a Monday night, as always, with Blobby Butler. First of all, you are watching DRS Mondays 8 PM. And then at 10 PM we go to Melbourne for Blobby Mondays Season 2, Week 2. And the reverse grid sprint, which sees Squid and Jonathan on the front row. Easy Life is giving up this attempt and going back to the pits. That might be his lot for the qualifying session. Smug has decided to go round again and have another go that way. Our Newt is also out on track. And so is Senna. Let's go and find Senna. As he is improving. Maxwell thinks he's done enough. And is out. He thinks the 1:15.4 is going to hold. So he has retired from the session. And will not be coming out for a last attempt. Here's Senna coming in to Sector 2, but he's down on his time. We'll stay with him, but it doesn't look like an improvement at the moment. He will have time to go round again. Let's go and see how Newt has invalidated. Here's Smug. No idea how quick the time is. Comes up towards the line here, Smug. And does improve to P9. Easy Life is out. We saw him going back to the pits late. And now, of course, cannot see that. And off is Spoonie. Spoonie's cutting the grass. And has broken his front wing. So that's going to be that for him. Here's Mr. Pickle. A minute left in the session. Levi is going across the line and go ahead of Easy Life into P15. 1:17.0 for him. Syme getting round to start his lap. Mr. Pickle finishing his. And a 1:16.0 for Mr. Pickle puts him up to P6 ahead of Senna. Sloth starting his final attempt. But Joker gets round in time. Al Newt is right the way up to P6. What a lap from him. 1:15.9. Al Newt, the checkered flag is out. Al Newt is up to P6. Is it going to hold? Here's Ninjas. No improvement for him. Next is an Aston Martin. That's Sainsey. And Sainsey improves slightly in time, but not in position. Spoonie has hit the line with no improvement. We saw he lost his front wing. Next across will be Syme, with Brad just behind him. So here comes Syme. Can he improve late? Yes, he can. P2. But is he going to hold ahead of Brad? Yes, it is. We saw our Newt and Mr. Pickle come across the line. So just Joker, I think. Here is Joker. And he stays down in P11. Just 1,000th of a second behind Smug. But ahead of Ninjas. So there you have it. Mr. Pickle will just crawl back round and complete the lap of a 1:48. Al Newt is going to crawl into the pits. Very satisfied with his qualifying session's work. But Max World for McLaren will take pole. Hello to Baker, just catching up with the chat. I am all good, and yes, that's no problem. You can spectate for the race, but make sure you tune in so you can hear my commentary as well. So Max World takes the pole, then it's Syme in P2. Spoonie is P3 from Swanton in 4. Brad Mason in 5. Next to Al Newt. What a qualifying session from him. P6 for the second AlphaTauri. P7 for Mr. Pickle, ahead of Sloth in P8. Then it's Senna in 9 and Smug in 10. Joker in P11 from Ninjas. Then it's Colin and Sainsy. Scroll down for the other three. Levi, Easy Life and Roddy the Kid. No problemo, Baker. I really could do with a setup like that myself, but I'm on a small laptop screen with all my chats and telly, obviously, with my face on. So yeah, some investment needed. Busy around there with a game on tonight. Yes, come on, Brentford. If there's a seat in Baker's on Wednesday, you'll see me again, hoping to not get murdered by squid. I am available to reserve once again if he's got a spare seat, as I didn't get a ticket for Kilmarnock, so I'm not going to Scotland this midweek. So do tune in on Wednesday. Even if you don't see me come live, do join Glowstick on Twitch for the best of the action with commentary in Baker's Wednesday Night League, where Cam got off to a winning start in Abu Dhabi. I will, as usual, during this little pause, find you some standings to tell you about. Forgot about that. Do apologise. Where the title battle is all about Syme, Swanton and Brad. The overall standings see Syme 8 clear of Swanton, who is 15 further clear of Brad. Max Weld is down in 4th, ahead of Senna. Then it's Colin, Joker, Mr. Pickle, King Kong, Miller Vanilla, who's decided to step away for a little while. In the Pro-Am, Sloth still leads the way, but he's being closed down and hunted down by the pack. 50 Gent, Ninjas, King Kong and Sainsy all going for it. Al Newt, not had the best of seasons, will hope to make a late bid. And it's so close in the constructors, where Haas lead the way by 3 points from Williams. AlphaTauri just 12 further back. Sorry, just 9 further back. 12 off the top overall, with McLaren not far behind either. Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin, or even Mercedes and Red Bull, could still get involved. Alpine are at the bottom. So here we go on the formation lap. Where we have difference in opinions on tyres once again. Just one of you goes on the hard tyre, and that's Sainsy. front row sees Max World on softs and Simon on mediums. The second row, Spoonie on softs and Swanton on mediums. And all mediums. Third row with Brad and Al Newt. And also fourth row with Mr. Pickle and Sloth, all choosing the yellow branded tyre. Senna in P9 is on softs. He's alongside Smug, who's on mediums. Both Alfa Romeos going for the mediums there, as both Alpha Tauris also do. They're the two teams that are the closest together. Joker in the Mercedes goes on the softs. He's next door to Ninjas on mediums. Colin on mediums is next door to Sainz, who's on hards. We've got an all soft row towards the back with Levi and Easy Life and Roddy the Kid. At the rear of the field is on the medium tyre. 35 laps of the Hungaroring here near Budapest. For your viewing pleasure here on a Monday night. King Kong's had to park miles away. Speaking of parking, Max World has been disqualified for parking, as has Easy Life. And Roddy. It's going to give us an awful rear view of the start. So I'm going to go on board here with Max as we get underway. And Max gets them off the line. Symes up the inside. Is he going to make the move? Straight into turn one. Max holds it out. Simon second. Spoonie from Swanton and Brad. Al Newt's lost a place to Mr. Pickle. Swanton and Brad side by side, but Swanton managed to defend it. The Alfa Romeos have had a poor start. Sloth and Smug both outside the top 10 as Ninjas makes up a place. Sainzy's dropped a couple. Easy Life and Levi have overtaken him. Brad trying to get to Swanton early. Mr. Pickle, he's had a good start as well and has a look in the Ferrari there. Everybody safely through the first lap, it seems. And Max World will take a second lead already. Stop strategies, medium hard, hard medium medium according to Amazon. Well, some of these guys are on softs. Is that Senna making a move on Al Newt? It is indeed. Senna up to P7. Almost up to double figures in the Twitch. And that's just my Twitch. Obviously, viewers on Kick and the DRL Twitch as well. So, nice viewer numbers this evening. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a double header Monday night. No better way to do it. So Max seems to have got away a little bit by a second and a half to Syme. And they're still quite cramped in behind with Spoonie, Swanton, Brad, Mr. Pickle from Senna, Al Newt. Max sets the fastest lap. Who's going to beat it round this time? As DRS is enabled, the answer is nobody. There's Sloth having a look. He's got Smug behind him with Colin. And Levi and Easy Life as well. Some good close racing in the midfield early doors. You see them all snaking through. Meanwhile, Max has opened up a 2-second gap now in the early going. DRS Twitch Blobby has frozen. Has my Twitch frozen? Can anybody tell me? Apologies, folks. Just 1 second. Seems to be okay. My channel. Apologies, folks. Just bear with me while I see that this is actually working. Yep, we're still live on my channel, folks. So if you are watching on DRL Twitch and have lost the view, please do come over to Blobby_Butler on Twitch, where we are still live and it's still working. So just some technical issues there. But we are live on Twitch and Kick, Blobby_Butler. Not sure about the technical issues. They are not my end. Roddy picks up the first time penalty of the session. Spoonie is now closing in on Syme, who has not been able to keep up with Max, who's now 3 seconds up the road. Imagine someone called Max running away with a race. Who's ever seen that before? This time in a McLaren rather than a Red Bull. But here's a Red Bull in Spoonie, who is on the charge. Also on the charge is Colin, as he's passed both now of the Alfa Romeos. He's going around the outside of Ninjas, and Ninjas says no thank you very much and closes the door. Sure to have another go soon, as Smug and Sloth look on. Let's see them all go through here as if they were a train of one, and Levi lost a couple of places there to Easy Life and Sainsy. A little bit of a mistake there. Thrilling battle this between four of them. No changes further up. Well, there are now, as Mr. Pickle is passed by Senna. Hello to King Kong. Thanks for coming over. Not sure what quite happened with the DRL feed, the restream. King Kong cheering on Spoonie in the chat. He's currently third, and he's giving Simon a run for his money. Smug and Ninjas having a scrap, and now Sloth as well. Mr. Pickle picks up a time penalty. Ninjas stays ahead of Sloth, but he lost out to Colin, and in fact he may not stay ahead of Sloth, who's trying to go the long way round his outside. And now they're going to come together into the chicane. And Sloth got it done as well, so Ninja's lost a few places there. Sainsy could now get involved. King Kong says he's very good at this track. He started on the hards So that could present an opportunity later on when others start to struggle on their tyres. I'm sure King Kong will be watching, hoping Sloth doesn't do too well, as he's still in the championship charge, as Easy Life makes an early pit stop. There's a very early pit stop for him, just 6 laps in. Simon's managed to shake off the attentions now of Spoonie, whose soft tyres may be starting to go off. King Kong indeed is booing Sloth. Brad couldn't get past Swanton in the early going, and they've now settled in. Mr. Pickle is still trying to get back to Senna, and is close to him. Newt lost a couple of places from that P6 in quali, but is still now in P8, which is top of the Pro-Ams, I believe, as it stands. Assuming Spoonie is a pro driver, I would assume so by his pace. Joker then is in P9 from Colin, who's got the Alfa Romeo still chasing him. And Mr. Pickle making the move back on Senna. Mr. Pickle back into P6 now ahead of Senna, as Levi is the latest of the soft runners to make an early pit stop. 2-stop strategy for Easy Life and for Levi. Swanton now closing up to Spoonie, whose soft tyres may just have gone off. Swanton and Brad both now getting close to the back of the Red Bull. Could it be a 2-stopper for Spoonie as well? Or any of the soft runners going to make it work for the 1 stop? Swanton's going to get close enough here, surely. Spoonie tries to defend inside, and Swanton just goes around the outside. That's P3 for Swanton. Ahead now of Spoonie. Brad will look to do the same. Colin getting close to the back of Joker now. There seems to be a theme here. The soft tyres not lasting hugely well. Joker now has Colin for company. The Alfa Romeo is not far behind. Colin had a look into the chicane there. Spoonie still managing to stay ahead of Brad for now. Lap 10 begins, and all 17 who started are still going. Just a couple have already made a pit stop. Spoonie keeping up with Swanton there with the aid of DRS. Colin continues to chase Joker. The Alfa Romeo's looking on. Sainsy still quite close to the back of Ninjas. Not enough to impact to make a move at the moment. And Levi's closing in on Easy Life at the back as well. Both of those two on fresh mediums. Spoonie again has DRS to defend from Brad. But Brad's a lot closer than he was on the previous lap. Brad getting closer. Colin and Joker side by side into turn one. Joker holds it out. Colin will get a bit more DRS to get the job done though. And Colin goes up to P9 ahead now of Joker. The sole Mercedes in the race. Down to P10. 4 soft runners still going after 10 laps. 2 of them, Easy Life and Levi, already pitted. Maxwell leads, but it's a slightly reduced lead of 2.5 seconds. Spoonie is in 4th place, being chased by Brad. Senna is in P7. He's now been dropped by Mr. Pickle. Hello to Luna Jack in the chat. I've already got my graphics and things sorted. And Joker, the last Senna, has been dropped by Mr. Pickle, as I said. And Joker, the last of those soft runners, has just been passed for P10 and has now got Alfa Romeos after him in Smug and Sloth.
Ninja has to win Pro-Am section to stay in with a chance of catching Sloth.
Ninjas at the moment is not winning the Pro-Am section. That is Al Newt at the moment. And Sloth is also ahead of him. So work to do. The Ninjas. The Alfa Romeo, certainly no team orders down at Alfa Romeo. Smug and Sloth look like they're having a good scrap as they try to catch Joker. Maxwell then starts lap 13. Spoonie's gone through as well, as has Senna. So into the pits though is Joker. We're going to stay with the Alfa Romeo battle here of Smug and Sloth, both with DRS. Joker out of the pits then will go right to the back possibly. They might stay ahead of Easy Life and Levi. It'll be close. Look at the two of them in behind. Levi making a move at the same time. And Joker came out just ahead of them. Apologies, the cough hasn't left yet. Do as best I can. Easy Life picks up a penalty at the back. Brad closing on Spoonie, who still shows no sign of wanting to pit. But this time I think Brad might get him, as he's got no DRS from Swanton ahead. So Brad makes the move up the inside. And Spoonie is relegated to P5. So Maxwell leading. Spoonie now P5 and Senna P7, the ones who are still on the softs. Quite nicely spaced out at the moment. Not many too close together. Brad will try now to get back with Swanton. Into the pits comes Maxwell, the leader, and Syme as well. So Max and Syme into the pit lane. Swanton takes the lead from Brad and Spoonie. Spoonie still going, even to Adkins in the chat. Looking forward to tonight's Blobby Monday race. Also in the pits, no, it's just them two. Max has come out right in between the Alfa Romeos, and Syme has gone for hard tyres, and he is in P12 behind Ninjas. So traffic problems for the leaders. Could this present an opportunity of an overcut, a Swanton, Brad or Spoonie? Is anyone going to be able to go long enough to go medium soft? I know Spoonie has, Max has gone soft medium. So can any of the medium runners stretch it out and go soft to the end? Max passed Smug there already. He's back up to P8 and he's looking at Colin as well straight away. He is coming through the field. Syme also making a move. Colin. And look at that. Spoonie's in the pits and is speeding in the pit lane. Penalty for Spoonie. Senna, Brad and Spoonie all into the pits. Swanton continues. Mediums for Spoonie. Hards for Brad. Mediums for Senna. Spoonie will rejoin Brad and Sainsy side by side. Brad in P10, Sainsy P11, Spoonie rejoins in P12, but does have that 5-second penalty. Max World, he's past Colin, he's past Al Newt, and he's now back up to P3. Indeed, Max is looking very good indeed. Syme now trying to get past the Alfa Romeos. He's got Sloth. And now is he going to get Syme? Is he going to get Smug? Sorry. It looks like he is. A nice move up the inside on the fresh tyres. Also on fresh tyres making a move is Spoonie, who's past Sainsy. Mr. Pickles up to second now, having not yet pitted. Colin passing Al Newt for P4. And look at Syme. Syme jumps past Al there as well, and he's going to go for Colin next. Syme really rocketing through at the moment. The traffic does not seem to be affecting them. Brad passes Ninjas. And he's going to get after the Alfa Romeos now. And it looks like the undercut is going to be on here. And the ones who may lose out are the ones who are staying out. There goes Syme past Colin and into P4. Colin didn't do much fighting of that. He knows that's not his race. With the championship leader. Brad will be hoping to see some of these cars pull into the pit lane, but they're not doing. Ninjas is into the pits. So that means Spoony can get after Brad, Sloth and Smug, who are 3 wide, and Brad's taken both Alfa Romeos into turn 1. Big bold move from him. And now he looks for Al Newt, who will try and defend, but has nothing to defend with. Brad up to P6. Max has caught Mr. Pickle. And a bit of a wobble by Mr. Pickle, sees him have to let Max through there. Brad's next victim will be Colin. Oh, look at the speed difference out of the corner there. Colin will hold him up a little bit. Spoony yet to get past the Alfa Romeos. Who are of course having their own battle as well. Brad then passes Colin. Spoony is going to get one of the Alfa Romeos and possibly not both. There's Joker and Senna going past Sainsy. Spoony now is past Smug. Sloth and Smug battling once again. And Sloth retakes P9. Senna trying to get after Joker. Is it going to be this lap for Swanton? No, it isn't. He's staying out. Spoony goes past Al Newt. Is it going to be this lap for Mr. Pickle? Yes, it is. Into the pit lane comes Mr. Pickle. Does he reckon soft tyres? Yes, he does. Soft tyres for Mr. Pickle to the end. Into the pits also are Smug and Sainsy. The Sainsy went for the hards. He's got a choice to make now. Smug goes softs. Sainsy goes mediums. Conservative from Sainsy.
Got to be softs to the end.
Not for Sainsy, King Kong. He's gone for the mediums. And drops to the very rear of the field. So yet to pit then. Sloth, Roddy, Al Newt, Colin and Swanton. Both Alpha Tauris going long on mediums. And now into the pit lane is the leader, Swanton. Be interested to see where he comes out. And picks up a penalty. Speeding penalty for Swanton. Al Newt's going to have to go through and do another lap, which he is doing. As is Colin. Swanton goes softs to the end. But where's he going to rejoin? He is going to be behind his teammate. There's Senna and Joker right in there with him. Having their own little battle. I think Al's going to get out of Swanton's way very quickly indeed, and does so. And Senna and Joker, look at this, side by side. And Joker manages to win that particular battle. Swanton then, P6. Colin, Al Newt and Roddy still yet to pit. Maxwell leads from Syme. Then it's Brad, then Spoonie. Colin being pursued now by Swanton. And maybe a bit of contact there. Swanton really wants this Alpine out of his way very quickly. Colin, of course, not obliged to let him go. And Colin's continuing for another lap. Joker passes Al Newt, who is also continuing for another lap. And Swanton does get the move on Colin down the main straight. Mr. Pickle sets the fastest lap of the race. He's currently in P10 on a set of new softs. Senna makes the move on Al Newt. I think he's just stayed out a bit too long. But could it be possible for him to get the new softs on and make some places back up towards the end of the race? Levi and Sloth going side by side a little bit. Easy Life's back into the pits. Sainsey past Roddy the Kid and back up to 15th. Joker and Senna now trying to get to Colin as Mr. Pickle passes Al Newt. The important thing for him is he does still lead in the Pro-Am race, but not for long. Ninjas is now going to take that lead when Al pits. Colin into the pit lane. Swanton sets the fastest lap of the race. Al Newt also in the pit lane. Colin speeding in the pit lane. 5-second penalty. Al Newt got it slowed down. So let's see where they rejoin. In fact, Colin, a bit of an unsafe release. Luckily ghosted. So Al will rejoin behind Levi and ahead of Sainsey. Down there in 14th. The race has not gone too well for Al Newt. After a terrific qualifying, he's now got a lot of work to do to try and make his way back through the field. As it stands, Ninjas is the Pro-Am leader. From Sloth. Then Levi, who's unfortunately got to pit again. Levi's off! Just as we go to Levi, he's in the wall! Well, you're saying he had to pit again. He certainly does now. Easy Life picks up a penalty. Senna and Mr. Pickle wheel to wheel. Senna keeps the place for now, but he's going to have more defending to do. They both chase Joker here. And Mr. Pickle up the inside of Senna. Levi's out. Levi is out. He was struggling round with a broken front wing and he's now out of the race. So Levi is our first casualty of the race. Mr. Pickle now trying to get to Joker. Senna still sticking with them. Swanton has caught Spoonie. And that may be a battle we're watching shortly. As Mr. Pickle goes up the inside of Joker. P6 now for Mr. Pickle. Here comes Swanton on Spoonie. And it's P4 for Swanton. Now what can Swanton do on the soft tyres with 10 laps to go to get back after the podium. Joker looking for a move back on Mr. Pickle. Could that have been a bit of contact? Possibly. Sloth passes Ninjas, and crucially, that is for the lead of the Prime, and Ninjas is going to dive it back up the inside. Yellow in. That's a Red Bull. That's a Red Bull. That's Spoonie. Spoonie's off. Spoonie is off. Where's he gone? Spoonie's cutting the grass. He's been given a 10-second now track limit penalty. Oh, what has happened to Spoonie? What has happened to him? He's broken his front wing. And that is going to be... He's going to now struggle back to the pit lane, of course. So, Sloth. We were watching Sloth and Ninjas before that. Sloth took the lead of the Prime race, which is going to devastate King Kong in the chat. He's still chasing his teammate Smug, who's been doing that for quite a while. Swanton is closing. There's King Kong booing Sloth again in the chat. Swanton has closed right up to Brad here. But of course does have that 5-second penalty, Swanton. Spoonie is now going to be a lap down. He's lost an entire lap because of that. Spoonie has lost an entire lap pretty much because he was ahead. Oh, he was just overtaken by Swanton. And now Swanton's coming up behind him to lap him. So an unfortunate end to Spoonie's race. He's out there on soft tyres trying to get a fastest lap, no doubt, to get some pride back. Sloth at the moment still in the middle of a battle between Smug and Colin. But now leads the Pro-Ams. Ninjas in second. Al Newt is closing in. Need some big laps from Al Newt towards the end of the race. He did have the Pro-Am lead. He's now third. Smug, Sloth, Colin. Been a great battle with the Alfa Romeos all the way through this race. Hello to Stacey in the chat. Oh, look at the Alfa Romeos almost side by side. Colin round the inside. They're going to go 3 wide down the straight, no doubt. Sloth picks up a penalty. Colin's going to thread the needle and try and pass both of them. And does it! Look at that from Colin. Passing both the Alfa Romeos. Brilliant work. Joker still trying to stick with Senna. But his tyres are going to be screaming, surely. With another 7 laps to do on them. That's about as long as Colin and Al Newt managed. Al Newt with a penalty. And that's going to cost him. As he was he's past Ninjas. I missed that, apologies. but he was starting to close on Sloth, and with Sloth's penalty could have taken the victory back. Now he's going to have to do it on track, as they both have 3-second penalties. We'll just check the penalties for you there. As you can see, both have 3-second penalties. Ninjas will try and stay within 3 seconds of them, but it's going to be tough as he's on older hard tyres. But still plenty to be decided in this race. Swanton trying to get after Syme, not making much impact. Of course, the 5-second penalty at the moment will cost Swanton that podium spot to Brad. This water bottle is very difficult to undo. Joker trying to stick with Senna, Sloth and Smug, never too far apart in this race. And Al Newt is catching Sloth. You can just see Al Newt behind the Alfa Romeos there, and Al Newt is catching the Sloth. So the battle for the Pro-Am win could still be on here. They've both now dropped Ninjas by the 3 seconds they needed for the penalty. And Al is going to get some DRS. Obviously Sloth gets it as well. He's never been too far from Smug in this race. Lap 30 of 35. And here we have a grandstand finale for the Pro-Ams. Sloth leads, Al Newt second, then it's Ninjas and Sainsey. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, because you can see Sloth is in P10 and Al is in P11, there are 2 championships in one here at DRS. The Pro and the Pro-Am. Each team has a Pro driver and a Pro-Am driver. So 3 championships, Constructors, Pro and Pro-Am. And at the moment, Sloth is the championship leader in the Pro-Ams and is the race leader in the Pro-Ams. But Al Newt is right on his case. Ninjas picks up a penalty, and that's going to ruin his chances of joining the party, and also might cost him a podium in the Pro-Am, as Sainsey is currently less than 3 seconds behind him. So at the moment it's touch and go for Sainsey. Alfa Romeo could really do with some team orders here, and Sloth to say, come on Smug, let me by, and then you be the rear gunner against Al, because Al is right there with them now. And Sloth indeed does go past Smug. So maybe, just maybe, that was the plan. Of course, they both have 3-second penalties, Sloth and Al. So Smug, in theory, will get the place back anyway. And now, just a bit of a buffer zone for Sloth, perhaps. Al Newt getting very close now, though. And he might just get rid of the buffer zone by passing Smug. Not quite. Smug doing the job at the moment for his teammate. Good team play by Alfa Romeo here. Brad remains comfortably in range of that Swanton penalty to take the podium in the main race. Al Newt crawling all over the back of the smug gearbox at the moment. Sainsy close enough for that podium and closing in now on Ninjas. Three laps remain. This switch has worked absolutely beautifully for Alfa Romeo. Al Newt cannot get past him. And the spin by Sloth! Sloth has spun! Commentator's curse strikes again. Off goes Sloth. King Kong is doing a jig in West Ham right now. He's running naked in the streets of Stratford, seeing that one, because Sloth has now lost the lead to Al Newt in the Pro-Ams with 3 laps to go. Ninjas now in range, and Sainsy also. That could be huge in the title race in the Pro-Ams.
He thought he was Bambi on ice.
King Kong absolutely loving that one. He's now got Ninjas for company. And Sainsy could now be on for P2. With both ahead having penalties, Sainsy could be on for a silver medal here. Or if he can pick up the pace, I think it's too much of an ask for him to get to the top step. Unless Al picks up another penalty. Thrilling end then to the Pro-Am race. 2 laps to go. Brad's closing in on Swanton but doesn't have to pass him. Mr. Pickle has too many penalties, I think. I've pressed the wrong button. Mr. Pickle has 3 seconds of penalties, so Senna could jump him. Collins picks up a penalty now. And we've got a yellow in Sector 1, and off is Spoonie again. Yeah, Spoonie's gone off again. He's broken his front wing again. So, from what was so promising in the early stages for Spoonie, has all gone a bit wrong. Very unfortunate for him.
Has anyone seen the sloth? Mario Pochettino Conor Gallagher Nico open goal Mr. Jackson can you hear me? Has anyone else? A coupon 1471 please do not send so many capital letters.
King Kong's been timed out by my moderation bot because he's got too many capital letters in the chat. He's enjoying himself. He's very happy about Sloth's misfortune. Max World is coming round the final corner. And a great drive from start to finish. Max World wins. Mr. Pickles got disconnected right at the end. And that might cost him a couple of places with the penalty. Brad takes 3rd behind Simon 2nd. Swanson finishes 4th. But Mr. Pickle was disconnected here. And he's lost out to Senna. He might lose out to Joker as well with penalty. Indeed, he's going to. So a nightmare end for Mr. Pickle. Senna comes home in P5. Mr. Pickle will be P7 behind Joker. Colin's got 8 seconds of penalty, so he's going to lose all kinds of time. He's going to lose all kinds of places. Smug will take P9. Al Newt wins the Pro-Am. He takes P9 overall. Sainsy takes P2 in the Pro-Am ahead of Sloth and P10 overall. What an ending. Senna takes the drive of the day according to the game. I think my vote will be going to Al Newt or to Max World. Maxwell wins. Syme keeps his title lead with a P2. Brad in third ahead of Swanson. Senna P5. Joker in P6. Mr. Pickle dropping to P7. That was unfortunate, really. Smug in P8. Keeping it clean. No penalties. Bit of promotion towards the end there. Al Newt, the winner of the Pro-Am in P9. Sainsy, P10 and runner-up. Sloth, the mistake and the penalty cost him, and he takes P3 in the Pro-Am P11 overall. Colin dropped out of the top 10 with those penalties. Ninjas was next in 13 from Roddy the Kid, Easy Life and Spoonie, who are all a lap down. So that brings us... Well done, Al Newt, says King Kong and Maxwell. That brings us to the end of another DRS stream. We are back on Thursday with Extreme from 8 PM, but do not go anywhere as we have 42 minutes until the start of Blobby Monday Season 2, Race 2 at Melbourne, and the first of our reverse grid sprints. So I am going to end stream here, and I will be back in about 40 minutes for Blobby Mondays. Thank you very much. This has been DRS from Hungary. Maxwell, your winner. Good night.